It's been the home of the Chiefs since 1972. GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Coming up, two teams ready to square off. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. On the Eagles sideline, there is their head coach. This team fell in their season opener a week ago, now hitting the road, looking for their first win. On the other side, the Eagles' all-time winningest coach, coached Philly for 14 seasons, beat him in Super Bowl 57 before losing to them last year. Of course, it's Andy Reid. Mike Tirico along with Greg Olsen. That is Jake Elliott getting this one started. Off we go from Arrowhead. Oh, he's got room past the 30. Terrific return. He's taken down just shy of midfield. So here come the Chiefs, and that means the three-time Super Bowl MVP, twice the league MVP. Almost hard to believe, Greg, it's season 9 for Patrick Mahomes.
I love watching a player of any position come back after a bad game. I think it really just speaks to their mental toughness and their ability to grind, because the reality is, if you can only play well when things are going your way, you're not going to play very long in the NFL. So I am very interested to see, Mike, what sort of approach does this guy come into today's game with, saying, last week is over, I'm going to remain aggressive, I'm going to put my team on my back and go out there and do whatever I have to do to get a win.
That's good for a Kansas City Chiefs.
On first down, it's Mahomes. He'll get that complete to Isaiah Pacheco. And they are in great shape. He's taken down inside the 10. They get 24 on that one. Just like that, it's first and goal.
First and goal at the 6-yard line.
From 6 yards out, it's first and goal. To the air once more, it's Mahomes. And he's going to be down close to the goal line. Good job defensively to make sure he did not get to the end zone.
Second and goal.
Pacheco is into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. Harrison Butker now for the extra point. He's got it, and the Chiefs will take a 7-0 lead. So now it's Butker following the touchdown to send this one away. Jackson now to return it. Across the 20, will mark him down before the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will take over. So here come the Eagles, and they are led by the reigning Super Bowl MVP. What a season for Jalen Hurts. Took the Eagles to the mountaintop. Now his 6th season in the NFL.
I think the biggest thing that stood out from last week's game was when they went into the game with an initial plan, how quickly were they able to get away from that when they realized it wasn't working? I think they got a lot of unscouted looks, meaning the defense threw a lot of exotic looks at them, blitzes, different fronts and coverages, maybe things they didn't work on all week. So the key this week is understand, what is the defense looking to do today, and how fast can we make those adjustments if we're not having early success?
Second and 10.
Now Jalen Hurts on second down. Well, he's brought down. That pass is going to pick up 4 and bring up third down.
A gain of 5 brings up third and 6.
From the shotgun, it's Hurts. Open man, Devontae Smith. And great determination as he gets forward and picks up the first down.
Eagles first down. First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. That's complete to his big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And And he'll be out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
That's another Eagles first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Barkley. Oh, Barkley has fumbled. It's pulled in by the Chiefs. One of those exciting moments in a football game. There is a turnover and a fumble. And all of a sudden, the guys who were on defense, they're starting to think like offensive players, Greg. They really wanted to take that back the other way.
And I think for that offense, they're fortunate that didn't lead to a touchdown, because for a minute, I thought the defender was going to take it all the way back. But either way, winds up with a pretty nice return, and his offense is in great position.
The Chiefs offense ready to get going with their second possession. Greg, it's one of those weird feelings you build all year for the opener. When you play a tight game and lose, it kind of changes the feeling coming into this week.
Yeah, it certainly does, and if you're not careful, what's that cardinal rule? You don't want one loss to turn into two, one bad play to turn into two. The best teams in this league, they have an uncanny ability that regardless of good or bad, blowout or close one from the previous week before, it doesn't lead into the next week's work and ultimately the next week's game. So we'll find out, were they able to learn from the good? And there certainly was a lot of it.
That's the one thing they couldn't have there, the sack that might take them out of field goal range. On 4th down, the Chiefs send out Matt Araiza to punt. And this is going to work out for them. Out of bounds, and they'll mark it inside the 10. Saquon Barkley and this Eagle offense set to take over again. Trying to start on the ground, and that'll be a pickup of 3. Here's 2nd and 6.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
A fake the give, now it's Hurts. That's the tight end, Morale Cox. He'll be brought down, but not before they move it up past the 30-yard line.
It's a gain of
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
for the Eagles first down.
Off the play fake, Hurts. He'll step up and run. Following the play, we have an Eagle who is shaken up. The training staff going to look, and will step out for a moment. An enviable spot to operate from. Here's 2nd and inches. They'll run the counter with Barkley. And he's going to be close to a first down. Looks like he'll have just enough to keep the chains moving.
And an Eagles first down. 2 yards on the play. And an Eagles.
That's into the hands of the rookie, Dante Thornton. And they'll get about half of what they needed to pick up a 5 and sets up 2nd and 5. And he's going to have a first down. Good run down inside the 45-yard line.
It's a gain of 8. That's another Eagles.
They'll stay on the ground with Barkley. He'll manage only a couple. Drew Tranquil up to make the tackle. From the 41. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Hurts. That's caught. Saquon Barkley. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short. So 1 quarter in the books in this rematch of Super Bowl 57. 7-0 is our score. We'll be back in Kansas City after this. They'll try to run here with Barkley. And he's going to have an Eagles first down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do give him the conversion on 3rd and 1. A shotgun snap now to Hurts. Little short pass here, caught by his tight end. He'll get about 4 here as he is taken down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the 29-yard line.
On 2nd down, Hurts. Open man is Thornton. He's got it. And they'll whistle him down, but not before he picks up a first down after a gain of 7.
First down.
From out of the gun, they give it to Barkley. And he'll take this forward for about 3. It's 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup. second and 6.
Hurts snap.
At the Chiefs' 18-yard line.
He finds Jahan Dotson. And it'll be a short pickup. That's not enough for the first down.
6 brings up third and 1.
They'll run the sneak. And he'll fight forward. Doesn't get a hold up, but he got what he needed. It is first and goal coming up.
That's good for an Eagles first down. First and 10 at the 10-yard line.
On the handoff, this is Barkley. Able to make one man miss, but that's all. They get him. Taken down behind the line. Lost one on the last play, so now it's second and 11.
At the 12-yard line.
Throwing is Hurts. Off he goes. And he's going to go into the end zone, but he may have gotten a little help along the way. This one's coming back.
Holding offense.
So holding is the call. Take that touchdown off the board. A second down throw for Hurts. That'll be taken in by Barkley. And it'll be taken down after a gain of 9 and third down coming up.
A gain of 9 brings up third and 12.
To throw is Hurts. And he'll just have to throw this one away. There was nowhere to go downfield. And now it's going to bring up a fourth down. Here's Jake Elliott now to try the field goal. This from 30 yards out. Elliott's kick is good. And the Eagles are on the board. It's 7-3.
And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
A good return as he takes it across the 30. So here comes the KC offense set to take over once more. Greg, you take a step back and look at the AFC West big picture. This is historic stuff. Chiefs are going for a 10th straight division title. But you have to remember, two other teams in this division won double-digit games last year. So the question is, are the Chargers and the Broncos that far behind Kansas City?
You know, it sounds crazy when you mentioned 9 in a row. You think, okay, they're just going to continue to run away with it. But I'm actually fascinated by this division. I think LA and Denver are a lot closer to this year's version of Kansas City, maybe than there's a lot of talk about around the rest of the league. So until someone beats them, you'd be crazy to not pick Kansas City. But last year it was a 4-game and a 5-game spread between them. I think this year, come down the stretch, that spread is going to be a lot tighter.
No, Greg, I'm thinking if I'm a fan or even in the front office for the Chargers, or the Broncos, or the Raiders, do I build my team to try to knock off the king of the hill? Because you only play Kansas City 2 of those 17 games. So how do you factor that into your construction?
Yeah, I think it's such a great point. It's really fascinating to dive into. And while I wouldn't necessarily build my roster to just beat Kansas City or to just beat whoever you view as the top team in the division, you do want to find some commonalities among the 3 division opponents and make sure you are built to play within your division. Remember, that's 6 of the 17 now. Winning the division gets you home playoff games. There's a lot on the line when you win your division and compete for that title. So, yes, every team has to build their roster. If you have a bunch of really good quarterbacks, you better be able to rush the passer and play pass coverage. If you're playing a lot of ground and pound, big running backs, you better be really good on the inside in defense and be able to defend the run. So there's themes across every division, and the teams that are built to compete within the division are usually the teams that find themselves in the playoffs.
On third down, Mahomes. He'll try and get there and he's in! Patrick Mahomes. Touchdown, KC. Butker's extra point is good, and the Chiefs extend their advantage to 14-3.
Eagles 3.
So now it's Butker following the touchdown to send this one away. Jackson now to return it. And he'll be out of bounds on the return. And the drive will begin there. On first down, it's Hurts. He takes off, and he'll give himself up here. That's a gain of 5 on first down.
Second and 5 at the 46-yard line.
To throw on second down is Hurts. There's the tight end, Grant Calcaterra. And that's going to be a first down. A pickup of 9.
And an Eagles
Now Hurts.
down.
And he can't hang on through the contact. Incomplete. Good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. It'll bring up second down. Now a screen set up for Barkley. And they'll take this down inside the 35. First and 10.
That's good.
To the air again. Hurts. He's got a tight end, Calcaterra, to the left. And he'll wind up getting about 7 yards as he is forced out of bounds.
At the 26-yard line.
Hurts will try it again. Quick slant into the hands of Smith. And he'll be taken down. The gain is 6, and it's a new set of downs. He picked up the first down.
That's another Eagles first down. First and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Here's a handoff to Barkley. And he's going to be marked out down at the 5. Well, a chance to get right back in it here. First down and goal. Here's Barkley. And this time they are ready for him. Thrown for a loss. And it's second down. Here's the timeout for Philadelphia. That is their second. They stop it here with just under 40 seconds until halftime. That Jalen Hurts on second down. He pulls it in around the 5. And he'll take it on in. A.J. Brown. Touchdown, Eagles. That his second TD catch of the season. Still a little time. Final minute of this first half. We'll see if they can do anything with this kickoff that is coming their way. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25. The Chiefs offense going to get it one final time in this first half. The lead sits at 4. So they'll try to add on to that. This drive begins with first and 10. They'll work now on second and 4.
It's a pickup of 6.
Final play of this first half. Here's Mahomes. And he's going to be taken down as time runs out on this first half of play.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. It's our second week in studio, second week of the NFL season. Lots to get to, so let's get after it. Our spin around the NFL starts now. We begin up at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The Vikings at home to take on the Falcons. And it's the veteran, Aaron Jones. He'll find an opening and take it in. A 6-yard rushing touchdown. The Vikings are off to a good start, 2-0 on the young season. From there, we go to Indianapolis. We'll check in on the Colts as they host the Denver Broncos. And this is Daniel Jones. He'll look to the end zone and find his man 33 yards on the touchdown pass. The Colts even up their record at 1-1 as they get the win here. Lastly, let's go to Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers hosting the Seattle Seahawks. And it's the veteran, Aaron Rodgers. On target to Pat Freiermuth. You know they gave him the mooth at the end of this touchdown. And time now for one more look at the rest of the scores from around the NFL. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been back and forth to this point. No reason to expect anything different in the second half. As we send you back out to our commentary team, Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
First half played out a bit as we expected. We'll see if there's a surprise coming up. Both teams set to go, and the second half is underway. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Eagles offense going to have the first crack at it as we begin this third quarter. Hey, Greg, you think about the NFC East? I was always fond of saying, you're not allowed to rebuild in the NFC East. Think about these fan bases, Philly, Washington, Dallas. Third and long for Hurts. He is hit before he can get rid of it, and down he goes. That's the All-Pro 3 years running, Chris Jones. He gets in to drop him for his first sack of the young season.
And this is a great example of what can happen when you play complementary football. The back end holds up nicely in coverage, and then that front seven is able to wreak havoc and put an end to this play. So it's not exactly what you're looking for when you set out on a drive, but at the same time, you don't want to come away empty-handed either. So in this case, they'll take those 3 points.
And back to work goes Elliott after making the field goal. He'll send this one away. Brown now to return it. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Chiefs offense ready to get back to work. Well, Greg, it will be a very busy stretch for the passports. A lot of international games to look forward to. 7 in all outside the U.S. Chiefs and Chargers last week in Sao Paulo. That's over the middle and intercepted. And he's going to give his guys a short field to work with and a chance to take the lead.
And we've seen this throughout the entire game, like these receivers are having a hard time uncovering against this secondary. You force a quarterback to throw into a lot of tightly contested windows, it's going to end up in the wrong hands.
Here comes the Philly offense now as they make their way back onto the field. Now, Greg, as we get the season going, obviously the adjustment to last year's new kickoff rules in place. We talked to a lot of coaches during the year. Folks didn't seem too bothered about letting the other team have the ball at the 30-yard line after a touchback. But the 35-yard line, I don't know, does that feel any different to you?
You know, it does, and I think the part that people don't talk about enough, Mike, is the impact that it's making on going for it on fourth down, not settling for field goals. Because remember, in the old days, if you got stopped inside the 5 or you scored inside the 5, it was all the difference of if I kicked a touchback, they got the ball for 20. It wasn't that much of a spread, but now all of a sudden, is it in my best interest?
And he will score! Saquon Barkley, touchdown Philadelphia. That his first touchdown of the new year.
You just don't see these kind of holes too often at this NFL level, Mike, and you can see once he got the ball, the clear line to the end zone, he doesn't get touched, and an unfortunate defensive breakdown here ends up costing him 6 points.
Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. This is caught. He's got it. And they tack 2 more onto their lead.
14.
Mike, I think all of us can remember exactly where we were during a certain Super Bowl where throwing the ball this close to the goal line ended up being a disaster. But unlike that time, they ran this pass play to perfection, and the result, 2 points.
The Chiefs offense ready to see what they can do with this next possession. Well, Greg, as the season starts, really the season never ends. Think back to the schedule release, the draft has become this multi-day, huge event. Green Bay crushed it with all the folks around the stadium in Lambeau, and some big names will be tied to that draft forever. A couple of the rookies that you've watched that are just sticking out in your mind, interested to see how they fit in the league as this season gets going.
Yeah, you know, obviously so much attention around the quarterback position. And Cam Ward goes number 1, and then obviously with Shador and all the conversations around that as the draft unfolded. But I think a guy that's going to be fun to watch when you talk about fit, Mike, I think you look at Ashton Jeanty. He gets drafted by Vegas. He's now with the Raiders. Pete Carroll. It kind of has the feel of, is he his Marshawn Lynch? Is he the bell cow back, under center, Geno Smith, play action, set up that run game, play good defense? This feels like the early path Pete Carroll took when he took over in Seattle and turned them into a Super Bowl champion. So I'm not saying Genty's Marshawn Lynch, but he certainly feels like that's the fit the Raiders were going for when they took him with their first-round pick.
Hey, let me ask you about Travis Hunter. Of course, the Heisman winner, Colorado, great play, both sides of the ball as a receiver and a corner. You know, Greg, it's hard to come in this league and play well on one side of the ball. Is it realistic to think you may see him on both offense and defense?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, and I think to start, you have to say, okay, let's hang our hat on something. And I think when you look at the league, where is it harder to find impactful players? I believe it's harder to find impactful defensive backs. I think it's a harder position. I think the league favors the offense with the rules and the play style. So if I'm Jacksonville, I'm making Travis Hunter a defensive back on day 1, and then I'm going to package my offensive plays around his skill set to take advantage of him as a wide receiver. And then as time goes on, it will eventually unfold where he'll be able to have a role on both sides of the ball more consistently. But if I was in Jacksonville, that's what I would do. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see how fast and how big of a role on both sides they give Hunter early in his rookie year.
On third down, it's Hurts. That's over the middle and taken in. He's got it. He's going to have the first down. So they convert on third down with a pickup of 9.
First and 10 at the 25-yard line.
On play action, Hurts. That's out to Brown, right side, complete. And he'll be brought down up past the 35-yard line.
That's another Eagles.
They'll run the draw with Barkley. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all. Try again. It's second and 10.
No gain on the play. Brings up second and 10.
Oh, maybe a free play as he'll look to throw it. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield.
Offside. Defense.
They will go ahead and decline that one and take the 2 points.
That penalty is declined.
A fresh set of downs to work with. It is first down and 10. They run out of the gun with Barkley. He is met and dropped. A couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage, too. After the loss of 3, it is second and 13. That's going to be incomplete. Coverage very good there. Contact jarring the ball loose. And it's going to force third down. Hurts will work here from the pistol. He'll get that out to Barkley. He's going to be out of bounds. He is well shy of where he needed to get to. It'll bring up fourth down. That is fielded at the 13. And he'll get a few yards on this return up past the 15-yard line. The Chiefs offense about ready to take over once more. They'll start out first down and 10. And mark them down up beyond the 30. of scrimmage is the 31 as they line up 1st and 10.
First down.
Out of the gun, here's Mahomes. To the left side in the hands of Rice. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one.
Gain of 11.
On 1st and 10, it's Mahomes. That one, oh, it's on target, but it goes as an incompletion. Looks like he had that one in his grasp, but unable to hold on, and it will be 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Mahomes. I had a defender draped all over him. Incomplete. Good work to body him up and set up a 3rd down. Throwing again, it's Mahomes. That is incomplete. Great work to get in there, make things difficult defensively. It sets up 4th down. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia offense set to take over once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been successful. He just processes things so quickly, making the right read seemingly every time. On the ground, it's Barkley to start the drive. And he'll get forward for a couple. It's 2nd down.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
A shotgun snap now to Hurts. Open man downfield is Brown. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield. It's a big play when they needed it the most. 31 yards.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
The only way the quarterback has time to allow that receiver to go that far is if the big boys up front do their job. I mean, the protection was excellent. The quarterback had all the time in the world to let his wide receiver work open, and when you can pass protect like that, you're going to generate a lot of big plays.
2nd and 11.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the Chiefs' 46-yard line.
Hurts. Open man is Smith. He's got him. And that'll go for a gain of 7. And it's going to set up 3rd down.
That's a gain of 8.
I'll run up the middle with Barkley. A good run there to the 34-yard line. That is a 1st down. Now the Chiefs can call the first of their timeouts. They'll be disappointed there after giving up the 1st down.
A gain of 5. 1st down, Eagles.
Here's Hurts. He'll take this himself. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. Now KC going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, and they'll get a chance to catch their breath over on the sideline. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now Barkley. And it's going to be 1st and goal coming up. Tackle made at the 5-yard line.
14 more yards.
The Chiefs will use their 3rd and final timeout here, and they'll get a chance to catch their breath over on the sideline.
At the 5-yard line.
A run on 1st and goal. And he's going to be taken down. Not so easy this time. They drop him back behind the line. It's 2nd down.
So these situations, Mike, are always very tricky for a play caller. Of course you want to keep the clock moving. You're just trying to run the game out and maintain this lead, but you also don't want to become overly predictable. So with the defense just selling out to stop the run, I think they have to mix in a few high completion percentage passes to just at least keep them off balance.
This crowd into it now as we get to 3rd down. They'll run with Barkley. And this defense standing tall in the red zone. They stop him for no gain. And now it's 4th and goal.
A bit of a curious call there, Mike, on 3rd and goal from this far out. You thought they would have turned to their passing game. They tried to catch the defense sleeping and keep it on the ground. Great job by the defense being ready for everything. Not only do they stop them, they take them back for a loss.
And this one, right down the middle. It's good. And that could be big. They now take a 2-score advantage. Brown now to return it. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. So here comes the KC offense set to take over once more. They'll begin with 1st and 10. This one is caught by Hollywood Brown. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. They're going to motion the tight end over here. They'll drop to throw. A short throw taken in by Kelsey. And he's out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. This is 1st and 10.
That's another Kansas City.
Throwing from the gun. Here's Patrick.
A bit of a quick hitter here. What you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain.
Here's a big one. This 3rd down. Patrick to throw. Taking off. He'll try to get there. Trailing late. They've got to go here. It's 4th down.
A 2-yard gain.
They'll motion a tight end right. Now or never, they'll throw on 4th down. And they're going to get the 1st down. They were forced to go for it, and it's going to work out for them.
A gain of 9 yards.
Here's the spike, and he stops it with 8 seconds remaining. On 2nd down, Mahomes. Now a deep ball toward the end zone. And the Eagles are going to get the football here as it'll come out to the 20.
1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
To a knee, and that will wrap this one up. So it's a win here for the visiting Eagles. And it was their defense that led the way as they pitched a shutout in the 2nd half. No points allowed, and they cruised to victory. So that'll just about do it for Greg Olsen and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. So long, everybody.